Ben Simmons could play for the Australian team. If you're a Sixers fan, do you want him playing overseas?
Yes. Yeah. I want to see him get some confidence that he'll be the star on the Australian Olympic team. And I do think that he needs kind of a jolt of confidence here. There was also a report that came out, something I'd been saying since his freshman year at LSU, that maybe Ben Simmons is toying with the idea of shooting right-handed. I know it sounded crazy when I said it years ago, but he looked uncomfortable shooting left-handed. And it's not getting better. Not getting better anytime soon. I did, and this is something that LeBron James maybe can help Ben Simmons with. LeBron James, back in 2007, against the San Antonio Spurs, admitted that he was uncomfortable taking big shots, outside shots. And the San Antonio Spurs had a great defense against him. LeBron taking his team to the NBA Finals. They got swept, but he spoke about crediting the Spurs with making him a better player. He said that I just want to be able to not have any weaknesses, and allow a defense to dictate what I do. Because of the Spurs, in a lot of my early years, they're part of the reason why my jump shot is a lot better today. My first finals appearance in 2007, they went under on everything. I didn't shoot the ball. I wasn't comfortable with shooting the ball at that point in time in my career. So I give a lot of thanks to their scheme, a lot of thanks to a lot of other teams that I went against. This is something that Ben Simmons needs to embrace, that we can go back, and I was at that NBA Finals, and LeBron was uncomfortable. They wanted him to take jump shots there. Now, does LeBron have better form than Ben Simmons? Yes. But he wasn't a knockdown shooter. He was a scorer, even at the free throw line. Not a great free throw shooter, doesn't have great form, but LeBron is more of a scorer. Back then, he was more of a facilitator, but he also scored. Ben Simmons needs to embrace this, that I got to go work. Like, this is what LeBron did. LeBron didn't go, it's in my head, it's mental. Now, maybe it was, but Ben Simmons needs to embrace this and say, I got to go back into the lab and I got to work on this mentally and physically. That's not easy. And the 76ers, Doc Rivers said, hey, we got a plan in place here. I don't know what that plan in place is or who that shooting coach is, but there's a lot of work to be done. He's only 23, but it's not like you can change your shot overnight. This is going to be a gradual. I go back to Karl Malone. Karl Malone was a terrible free throw shooter when he got in the league, maybe 58%. And later in his career, I think he shot upwards of upper 70s, low 80s. He made himself a better free throw shooter. Andre Drummond, terrible free throw shooter, made himself a better free throw shooter. But you got to be comfortable shooting the free throws when there are important games being played. You can shoot free throws. You can be practicing. You can make 10 out of 10, 20 out of 20. Game on the line, what do you do? That's what Ben Simmons has to work on. His form, and then the mental aspect of, I want to attack the rim. I want to get fouled. Because right now, he doesn't. Yes, Eden.
A side poll question. If you're the Australian Olympic basketball team, do you want Ben Simmons?
Wow. That's too soon.
Too soon?
Too soon.
Oh.
Too soon.
Maybe hour two.
Too soon. Yes, Paul.
So in Sydney Sports Radio this morning, Jimmy and the Koala are just like, we cannot have Ben Simmons on the team. They're breaking it down.
Never going to win with a guy like that.
This program brought to you by Simply Safe. They've been making people feel safe at home for the past 15 years. With Simply Safe, there's always someone there who has your back. Keep you safe. Go to simplysafedan.com today. Customize your system. Get a free security camera. Yes, McLovin.
Australia is reportedly stacked.
Oh, they are.
Patty Mills is going to dominate. No, they're a medal hopeful, so this is actually a huge deal to them. They have a good team out of nowhere.
I think he needs to feel good about his game. The only thing I would worry about is he going to get back into that rut and he's going to be afraid to take shots. And then all of a sudden that just kind of, it keeps it going, And that's, he sort of needs to break this cycle some way, somehow. I don't want him to go and have it kind of reinforced in his mind. Yeah, McLevin.
After Doc Rivers' comments yesterday, I kind of felt like the Sixers aren't going to trade him. Is that a fair read?
I wouldn't, because I don't know what I'm going to get for him. Like, the market value is low. Everybody thinks, wow, you could get Dame Lillard. No. Like, why would Portland take Ben Simmons and give up Damian Lillard just because Damian Lillard may want to get out? Like, that doesn't – we always look at one side of a trade and you go, man, the Sixers, they could get Damian Lillard. Yeah. Hell yeah, I'd sign up for that right now if you said the Sixers can get Dame Lillard for Ben Simmons. But that's not going to happen. But his stock is so low right now that I think you got to try to prop him up. And at age 23, it's the same thing with Giannis. Like, for a guy who's considered, maybe one of the great players of all time, he's still a liability at some time or some points in a game. And you're not an all-time great if you're also a liability. Now, you can say, well, Shaq and Wilt Chamberlain. Yes, because they couldn't make free throws. But that didn't stop Shaq from being aggressive. Ben Simmons not aggressive. Giannis at times can be tentative because he doesn't want to go to the line. He shoots air balls. I think he hit the shot clock on one of them. Like, that's almost impossible to do if you're one of the greats of all time. But Ben Simmons at age 23, you have some traits that can make you an all-star, but you're probably going to have a glass ceiling where you're only going to get to a certain level there. And you're going to become a liability because nobody's going to need to guard you on the perimeter, and they're basically baiting you to go to the line. Yeah, Paul.
I don't know if there's a good comparison with LeBron James at the same stage and Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons turns 25 in 3 weeks. And he's going into his 6th year in the league. In year 5, Ben Simmons is down to 14 points a game. He's regressing. LeBron in year 5 was averaging 30 points, was league MVP. Yeah. He had a flaw that he maybe wasn't an alpha in the last 30 seconds of games, but that was it. I mean, these guys are not even in the vicinity of each other at the same stage of their career.
Yeah, but LeBron attacked it. He attacked a weakness. That's what Ben Simmons has to do. Ben has to say, whatever it takes, I'm going to be a good jump shooter. Whatever that is, I'm going to be a good free throw shooter. That's what LeBron is saying. That's what Ben Simmons needs to embrace. Don't say, hey, it's mental. Yeah, McLevin.
I'll give you another example for Giannis. Karl Malone in his early 20s was terrible at the line. Then he got really good at the line and started winning a ton of games. Could Giannis improve at the line like Karl Malone?
Is this microphone on?
Oh, did you say that?
Yeah.
Oh, darn it. I was busy Googling stats. My bad.
Yeah. I think he shot like 58% when he first got in the league and then got close to 80%.
It was floating around my subconscious and I couldn't figure out why.
You're like, I'm hearing voices. There's somebody telling me something.
No, it's a great point, Karl Malone.
Karl Malone. Yes, Seton.
This might be a really dumb question, but I ask those. What exactly does a fella like Ben Simmons work on all off season? If it's like, okay, I'm a basketball player, a professional basketball player, a high-level professional basketball player, and in the offseason, I can't shoot, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to work on all this other stuff. Like, what is he working on then?
Did he say he's working on other stuff?
No, I don't know, but clearly he must work out in the offseason. He must train. He must play. He must do all this stuff. So right now, it's like, dang, I should get a handle on this shooting thing?
Yeah.
What else are you doing? Is it just all like conditioning drills or something? You ever pick up a ball?
I don't know what he does in the offseason.
It just seems crazy to me that it's like, hey, you know what? We got a plan right now. We're going to fix this shooting thing. It's your whole job. It's literally what you do for a living is take this ball, put it in the basket. How is it just dawning on everybody now that we got to figure this thing out for him?
Yes, Paulie.
And like you said, Dan, the past 5 years, people are like, he's got to get to the gym and do 1,000 shots a day. What has he been doing for the past 5 years? All he does is practice shooting. That's all basketball players do. He's been practicing incorrectly for the past 5 years.
Yes.
Like you said, if you teach someone a bad shot, it's never going to get better.
Yeah, because I can practice my golf swing. But if I have bad traits in my golf swing, all I do is reinforce those. You need to break the cycle here. And they need to look at his shot and say, all right, let's start here. And then you get into the mental aspect of this that he needs to attack. He needs to want to get to the line. I don't care if he can't shoot a three. I need an 18-footer and I need you to be able to shoot a free throw.
You know when they do the skills challenge and it's like he passed the ball through the hoops and into the bucket and all that thing? Like, is that his off-season workout? And like, don't worry about the shooting thing.
I don't know. I don't know Ben Simmons. But if he does go to his right hand, it's one of the great calls of all time.
Great call.
Yes.
Great call.
Yeah.
I don't know that he's shooting with the right hand.
I said that, and I remember going, God, do I say this on the show? Because he looked like it was one of those where, you know, a guy will get injured, and then Larry Bird against Portland shot everything left-handed, but he chose to do that. Well, he looked like a right-handed guy shooting left-handed.
That's insane, by the way.
Yes,
He did that.
and he still shot better than Ben Simmons does. But, you know, this is where Ben's got a lot of work to do. But he's young enough, if he puts in the time, that this could change his career. But you're paying him to be a superstar, and he's not a superstar. And I don't want to hear this. I heard from somebody yesterday, former player. It's like, dude, man, he gives you 14, 8, and 8. And I go, so? There's probably a few, like, you're paying him $40 million to give you 14, 8, and 8, but I can't use him in the fourth quarter? No thanks. Yeah, Paul.
If I'm the Sixers and he's actually right-handed, I'm voiding the contract. We signed you out of false pretenses. We were clearly informed that you were left-handed for years.
Consumer fraud.
I want my money back.
I'm also firing everybody who scouted him. Be like,
Right.
"No, you didn't notice it was the wrong hand?
Yeah.